Your VA check is about to go up. But if you have been watching the videos flying around right now, you have probably been told two different things on two different dates, and you are not sure which one is real. Some are shouting about an increase on the 1st of October. Others are pointing to the 1st of December. So which is it? And how much more money are you actually going to see? In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the honest answer. What is really going up, exactly how much it is likely to be, and the precise month you will see the larger number land in your account. And I am going to clear up the confusion those two dates are causing, because once you understand it, the whole thing becomes simple. Stay with me, because at the end, I will show you how to work out your own new amount in about 10 seconds. Let me start with the one thing that matters most, and everything else will fall into place around it. There's really only one pay increase we are talking about, and it has a name. It is called the Cost of Living Adjustment, or the COLA. Once a year, the government raises VA compensation to keep up with the rising cost of everything you buy, from groceries to gas to your electric bill. That raise is the increase. It is not two separate raises, it is one, and understanding that is the key to cutting through all the noise. So where do those two dates come from? Here's the simple truth, and it is the part almost nobody explains properly. The 1st of October is not a second raise. It is the month the size of the raise gets announced. The government looks at inflation over the summer months, does its final math, and around the middle of October, it announces the official number for the year. So October is the reveal. It is when we all finally learn how big the raise will be. But not a single dollar hits your account in October. Nothing changes in your payment that month. The 1st of December is when the raise actually takes effect. That is the date the new, higher rate officially begins. So December is the real starting line for your bigger benefit. And then there's a third date that matters just as much, even though the loud videos rarely mention it. Because of the way VA payments work, the increase that takes effect on the 1st of December shows up in the payment you receive in January. So if you are watching your bank account, the first time you will actually see the larger number is your January payment. October is the announcement. December is when it begins. January is when you see it. 3 dates, 1 raise. Once you hold those 3 in order, none of it is confusing anymore. Now let us get to the question you really came here for. How much more money are we talking about? The final number will not be locked in until that October announcement because it depends on the last few months of inflation data. But the people who track this closely have made a projection, and right now the estimate for the coming increase is around 3.9%. Some believe it could land a little higher, closer to 4.2%, if prices stay hot through the summer. Nothing is official yet, and I will always tell you when a number is a projection rather than a promise. But 3.9% is the figure to keep in your mind for now. So let me make that real, because a percentage on its own means very little until you see it in dollars. Take a veteran rated at 100% with no dependents. That veteran currently receives about $3,938 a month. Add a raise of 3.9%, and that becomes roughly $4,092 a month. That is about $154 more every single month, which comes to over $1,800 more across the year. Now take a veteran rated at 70% with no dependents, who receives about $1,816 a month today. A 3.9% raise adds around $71 a month to that. And a veteran at 30% would see a smaller but still real bump on top of their current rate. The higher your rating, the larger the dollar increase, because the same percentage is applied to a bigger starting number. And if you have dependents, your increase is bigger still, because your starting amount is already higher. A veteran at 100% with a spouse and 1 child receives more than a veteran alone, so that same 3.9% is working on a larger number and hands back more dollars. Every added family member on your claim quietly makes your raise a little larger too. It is one more reason to make sure the VA has all of your dependents on file, because the increase rides on top of whatever your correct amount already is. And here is something important that the pay increase videos often forget to mention. This raise does not only apply to disability compensation. The same cost of living adjustment lifts a whole family of VA benefits. It raises the veteran's pension, which is the separate check for wartime veterans of limited income. It raises the payments that go to surviving spouses and children known as dependency and indemnity compensation, and it raises the special monthly compensation paid to the most seriously disabled veterans. So if you receive any of those, this increase reaches you too on the very same schedule. One adjustment applied across the whole system at once. You may be wondering how they even decide the number, because that is the part that makes it feel mysterious. It is actually straightforward. The government tracks a measure of inflation over the summer, looking at how much prices rose in July, August, and September compared to the year before. When those 3 months of data are in, they average the rise, and that becomes the cost of living adjustment. That is why the number cannot be final until the middle of October. They are quite literally waiting for the last summer figures to come in. So when you hear a percentage before then, understand that it is an educated projection built on the months they already have, not the official result. Now let me give you the honest bottom line on all of it, because I never want you walking away with the wrong idea. Yes, your check is going up. No, it is not two separate raises, no matter how many videos frame it that way. It is one annual cost of living adjustment. The number becomes official around the middle of October. The higher rate begins on the 1st of December, and you will see it for the first time in your January payment. The projection today is around 3.9%, but the final figure will be confirmed in that October announcement, so treat the number as a strong estimate and not a guarantee just yet. So here's what I would do, and it is simple. You do not need to do anything at all to receive this raise. It happens automatically. You do not file a form, you do not call anyone, and you do not sign up anywhere. It is applied to your benefit on its own, every year, quietly, in the background. And that last point matters more than it sounds. So let me say it plainly. Because this raise is automatic and free, it is exactly the kind of thing that scammers use to trick older veterans. If anyone ever contacts you and says you must pay a fee, share your bank details, or sign up through them to receive your cost of living increase, that is a scam, every single time. The VA will never charge you for a raise you already earned. So know that it is coming, watch for it in January, and let no one convince you that you have to buy something to get money that is already yours. The only honest move on your part is simply to check, when that January payment arrives, that it went up by roughly the right amount. And here is that 10-second method I promised you, so you can estimate your own new payment. Take your current monthly amount, move the decimal point to find 1% of it, then multiply that by about 4. That gives you a close estimate of your yearly raise in dollars per month. It will not be exact, but it will put you in the right neighborhood, so you know what to expect before it ever arrives. When the official number is announced in October, you can redo the same simple math with the real figure. Let me leave you with this. There is a great deal of noise out there, designed to make a simple, good piece of news feel confusing and urgent. But this is not complicated, and it is not something to worry about. Your benefit is being adjusted upward to help you keep pace with the cost of living, the way it is nearly every year. That is a good thing. You earned it. All you have to do is understand the calendar, so that no video can scare you or mislead you about your own money. If this helped make sense of it, do one thing for someone who served. Send it to one veteran who has been confused by all the talk of October and December, because a clear answer is worth more than a dozen loud ones. One honest note before I go. I am not a lawyer, and I do not speak for the VA. This is general information, and the final increase has not been officially announced yet, so the exact figure may change. For the confirmed number and how it applies to your own benefit, check the official rates on the VA website once they are published, or speak with an accredited veteran service officer at no cost. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. Keep your head clear and see you in the next one. Stay safe.